Hey everyone, it's Chala. Thanks for coming back to my channel and joining me for another video. I am excited for today's video because it is a collaboration with my dear friend Beth over at Yes, I Made It Myself. If you haven't subscribed to her channel, make sure you head over there and definitely hit that subscribe and notification bell. She does some amazing work and she's a fellow Canadian, so gotta love that. So today we are actually doing a folio challenge. So we decided that we would work together and create some folio tutorials for you guys. And the challenge is that the crafters have to pick one item from each of the three categories below to make the folio. So we're welcome to mark these items on a piece of paper, pick one from each category randomly to give yourself a true challenge. So the base has to be made out of either a paper or gift bag, a mailer, or a file folder. I decided I was going to use the file folder. I don't really have any bags or mailers that would really work for kind of the idea I had. So I'll be using a file folder. The file folder I'll be using is just a regular legal size file folder. We have lots of these kind of hanging around from our offices. Most places are going paperless now, so these are kind of becoming obsolete in offices. So I kind of picked these up from my husband's office. So I have some of these, and then the cover needs to include a book page, music paper, or fabric. So I'm kind of thinking on this one. I think I want to use fabric. So I'm going to check off fabric. And then at least one tag needs to include a paper clip, beads or charms, or eyelets. So we're going to see what we can do with this. And so what we're going to do is actually we're going to make these folios, and then you guys are going to be able to win them. So Beth is going to be making one. I'm going to be making one. Each of the folios that we make are up for grabs. And what you need to do for that to enter is you must be a public subscriber to both of our channels. So of course, my channel is Crafting Through the Chaos of Life with Chala Frank, and Beth's is Yes, I Made It Myself. So you want to be a subscriber to both of our channels, a public subscriber. Also, I will leave Beth's links down below to her, not only her YouTube channel, her Instagram, and Facebook. Make sure that you get your subscriptions and comments in before July 15th. We're going to be doing the draw on the 15th, so you have up until that date. And then we will announce 2 winners on July 15th. So this is open to Canadian and US residents only. Sorry guys, it's just shipping is kind of crazy right now overseas. So, and then we can't, also guarantee when you're going to get it. So that's kind of the downfall with that. And you also must be over 18 to participate. So just some of our legal there. Thank you so much, Beth, for drafting that up for us. I really appreciate you so much. Okay, so let's get started here. This is the kit that I'm going to be using. This is an amazing kit. I don't know if you guys can see how many papers are here. I don't think I have duplicates. This is from My Porch Prints. And if you want to play along, this one is called Once Upon a Forest Journal Kit. This kit, you guys, is so worth it. It's so amazing. The digitals are gorgeous. I just love the theme of them. Almost cartoony, but not, they're gorgeous, gorgeous digitals. So if you want to play along, go ahead and head over to My Porch Prints, and you can download this amazing journal kit. Once again, I will tell you the name, Once Upon a Forest Journal Kit. So lots to work with here. So let's get started. I did do a little template up because I needed to kind of work it out in my head before I came on camera. So what I have done is I've taken my legal size file folder and literally just cut it in half. So you can get 2 of these folios out of one legal size folder, okay? So my template here, I've kind of got it all marked off. So let's go through where we need to score. And I'm just going to grab out my scoreboard. And so we're going to be making the base, and then I'm going to decorate mine up how I want to. You can do your own thing with yours. This just gives you a simple folio idea that you can work with. and make your own. Okay, so we've cut our file folder in half. So it usually folds like this, right? You guys see that? Let me turn it this way. Okay. So I did cut off a little smidgen of the file folder just because it had a bit of a bump, but this is basically how your file folder goes. It folds, I'm getting camera here, folds up like this. Okay. So I've cut it directly down in half. So again, looking at our large folder, I cut it down right here. Okay. So from there, I wanted to kind of figure out what the sizes of these papers are. Now you can do this folio any size, but again, making the most out of this file folder, I get two, measuring it this way. But these papers here, so this image measures about 5 inches. So I want this part here to be about 5 inches. So here's how I calculated that. My standard size journal pages as well are the typical 8.5 by 11 folded in half. So as we can see here, you can actually take this folio and you can probably sew it into a journal as well. It's smaller than a journal page. So this measures about 7.5 inches tall, and then the file folder itself is 14 plus inches. So 14, about 17, almost 18 inches long. Okay, so hopefully I can make this make sense. I tried to draw in where I've scored to help you guys understand what's going on. So the first thing that we need to do is we have the natural fold of our file folder. Okay, we have that right here, where it's natural folders. And then we have, it comes with these kind of already scored lines. So the first thing that we want to do is we're going to grab our folder. Here's our natural score line. And we're going to go over, bring this in so that you can kind of see it. We're going to go in, so here's the regular original score line. We're going to go over 1, 2 of those already made score lines, and we're going to reinforce that score. So I'm going to bring in my scoreboard to do that. And then we have our, so here's our original score line. We want 1, 2, so that is about 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to just reinforce that score line. And with the file folder, you may want to kind of go over it a couple times just to help it fold. You may even want to turn it over and score on the other side as well. Again, just so you can get that reinforced fold line. And basically what we are creating is like a little spine or a gusset. Okay? Now, as you can see, I'm using this tool as opposed to my bone folder. This just doesn't have a pointy enough tip to get that crisp score line that I want. Okay, so now that you have this score line, you're going to fold over on that new score and then burnish it down however you like. Okay, and now we have created that little spine or gusset. I'll try and show you that there. Can you see that? So we've created this 1/4 of an inch little spine or gusset. Okay? So from there, what we need to do, go in my template again. So here's the original fold line. Here's our additional score line, and that's at 1/4 of an inch. From this original score line that we had, I'm going to measure over 5 inches and give it another score line. So again, from this original score line that we had, measure over 5 inches. So I'm going to tuck that right into the corner there. So I know you're going to have a bit of a shadow, but bear with me. Tuck that right over. And then we are going to score it at 5. Okay, that gives us a nice score. Then we're going to go over 1/8 of an inch. We want to create another little fold line, a little gusset, to give us some depth to our folio. So 1/8 inch, and if you're like me and you don't really know math, that's one tick over from the 5-inch mark. Okay, so now we have these two new score lines. Now this is kind of tricky to fold. So I also like to turn it over and score it again on the other side. Again, that just makes it a lot easier to fold that 1/8 inch little gusset there. Go ahead and floating away on me, we're rolling away. And now we fold on those two new score lines, and then reinforce them, burnish them, whatever you want to call it. Just up to the next one. This is the tedious part, is these little 1/8 inch folds. But once you got them, they're there, they're perfect. Okay. All right, now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So from the second score line that we made on our 1/4 of an inch, we're going to go from this, the farthest left one that we made. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to bring this back. So there's our original fold of the folder, go over 1/4 of an inch, and then we're going to measure 5 inches to the left. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to score it at the 5-inch, and then go 1 tick or 1/4 of an inch to the left to make that second kind of gusset. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to do it here, so we're going to measure, I'm going to turn it around though, and I'm going to fold it, tuck that in, measure at the 5-inch mark. We're going to do a nice good score. You loosen up those fibers so it folds nicely. And then 1/8 of an inch, or 1 tick to the right. Because I've turned it around, it's to the right, but when you turn it back around, it's actually to the left. So it doesn't matter which way your folio goes. You just decide which way you want it to go before you stick your papers on. And then we will reinforce that fold line. And there we go. You have your base for your folio. And I'll just kind of move this out of the way for a quick second, and then I'll show you. So here's our little spine that we created right here. And then these fold in, and then it folds again. And then you've got your little folio. Can you see that there? So again, you can, have it this way if you want. It doesn't matter. Alright, I think I want mine to go this way though. Alright, so I'm going to prepare my papers and we can start decorating. So I will be right back. Okay, so I have gone ahead and prepared my papers that I want to put on my folio. And I've also inked up my folio. I didn't think you guys wanted to see that, so I've gone ahead and inked up all the edges. You don't have to do that, but if you are an inker, that's probably the time to do it. And I also have written on here, I've kind of named them. So flap 1, flap 2, flap 3, flap 4, and that just coordinates with my papers that I've already kind of fussy ripped with my tear ruler and just with my fingers. And on the back, I've wrote the coordinating flaps that are, spaces that they're supposed to be. So let's go ahead and get started by doing our front cover. Now, the front cover, I decided to go with this cute little bunny and this claw. Now, if you want to add any ties, brads, or anything like that, you want to make sure that you do that before you adhere your papers down, because you won't be able to tuck them in afterwards. And I think I want to do sari tie just to kind of connect my folio together, to hold it together. So let's just see, as I muddle here to get it folded back up. So I want a tie to come from here and a tie to come from the back, so that I can tie it up on the side. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, but I need to put the sari slip down first so that I can put my cover papers on over top. Okay, does that make sense? I'm going to grab my fabric towel, And I'm just going to kind of flatten out this little bit of sari just so it's kind of flat underneath that paper. And what we're going to do is decide where we want it, somewhere in the middle, right? We'll take our fabric tack, and I'm kind of eyeball in the middle. So then we take and lay this down with our fabric tack. That down. Now I'm also going to take some, I don't know if you guys have any of this, but this is micropore tape. So this is the stuff that you would use for bandages. But this micropore tape is really great because it inks up beautifully and it also strengthens spines of things. So if you were worried about this getting weak from all the folding, you can actually take this micropore tape, I can get it off here, and you can run that down your seams, and then it takes the ink nicely. And you can also use this micropore tape to create your own washi tape. You can take the backing of labels and just go ahead and lay this on the backing of, that clear, that slick surface that labels are on. Put this on there, and you can run it through your printer, and then you have printed washi tape. I'm just going to use this to add a little bit of security to this sari tape, or the sari silk. Just going to put it on there like this, and that'll just give it some extra hold and flatten it down a bit. And then, like I said, you can go ahead and add this to the spines of anything that you think needs to be reinforced. So I'm going to go ahead and get the sari silk on both the back and the front, and then I will start to glue on my pieces that I've cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll likely speed up the video so that you can see the process, because this folio is going to take just a little bit of time. Okay, so we have the front and the back already glued on. We've got our little pieces of sari silk here coming out so that we can tie it up. Now I also did go ahead and ink up the edges of these pieces already as well. You don't have to. You can have them come out to the corners. I kind of like them, but they're not. I just think it adds a little bit of interest. So I am going to show you what I want to do with flap number 4 here. And I'm going to find my coordinating, no, I'm going to do, sorry, flap number 3. going to show you flap number 3 because I want to add some brads, and I don't want them to show on the back of the brads to show, if that makes sense. So I want to put flap 3 down first so that I can cover the back of the brads with flap 4. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to put this down, and I want to have this little kind of belly band to go over top with the brads through it. So I could actually do it just through this piece here and then glue that down, which I think is what I'll do. So I'll grab my clip punch, and I need to grab some brads. And see if I can just find some cute little brads to go in there. I think those will do. So I'm going to take and do my smallest, which is the 8. Little punch here. I'm going to punch a hole through my little belly band that I made and the flap 3 cover piece. Just get it situated where I want it. And figure out where to put the hook. There we go, there's one. And hopefully I've got them even. There's 2. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to put my brads through here. And this one's a little wonky. Still work. A little uneven, but that's okay. And then if you want, again, you can add some micro tape to the back just to hold those pokey bits down of those brads. Like that. And then now you can go ahead and glue this piece right down. So I'm going to go ahead and finish gluing all my bases and stuff. And just remember that anything with brads or eyelets, you want to make sure you do that first before you cover so you don't see the backs of your brads if that's an issue for you. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these up, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gone ahead and glued down all of the little flap and base pieces that I had ripped out and what have you. And I also used my sewing machine and just did some really messy stitching around the edge. Because I used just glue stick for this, I wanted to make sure the papers weren't going to lift. And it adds a lot of security too for these little sari ties. It just gives that extra security in there for those. Again, you don't have to sew around this if you don't want to. I just think it adds a bit of interest, and again, securing down that sari. So yeah, this is just the papers. We've got the flaps down. Now, I bet you've been wondering about this guy. So I had cut that belly band, I had sewed around it, and we had put the the holes in for the brads to go in there. And again, this is just a little something decorative. We glued that down so you can't see the back of the brads, which is great. One of the things that we had to do for this challenge, so let's take a look. So we've got our file folder as the base. The cover to include book, page, music, or fabric. So I said I was going to use fabric, and I'll show you that at the end. I'm going to finish the cover at the end. And then you need at least one tag to include a paper clip, beads or charms, eyelets. So I have cut out from the kit these little tags. Like, there's tons in this kit, guys, to play with, so it's endless. And I just want to step back and say that this is really just a base for you guys, a jumping point for you guys to go off of for this folio. You can create more flip-ups, downs, outs, create tons of pocket areas. Again, this is just the base for you to go off of, just a starting point for you. So I'm just kind of doing a simple one here today, but you can make this as elaborate as you want. The possibilities are endless with this, kind of template of how more elaborate you can make it. You can even attach more pieces and have it fill out more. So I just wanted to mention that let your creativity go wild with this. So for a tag with an eyelet, there were these little cute tags in the kit itself, and I chose one that I wanted to be the top, and I'm creating a little booklet. So I had scrap pieces of coffee dyed paper that I cut to the same shape as the tag, and I'm just layering them with these cute little tags that we cut out. I've already inked up the digitals. I don't think I'm going to ink up the coffee dyed papers. I don't think we need it. But I also created a sturdier base, and this will come in handy in just a minute. So let's go ahead and fulfill our obligation of a tag with an eyelet. So this is a tag notebook, but it's still a tag. And we'll go ahead and put these together. And I want a bigger eyelet because this is quite thick that we're going to go through. So I'm going to bring up my crocodile. There it is. And I'm going to be using the 3/16. That's the bigger hole punch for that. And I'm going to try and get these together. If you want, you can use a paper clip or an alligator clip just to hold these together in place while you're punching and doing your thing. I'm going to whisk it and just go in all willy-nilly way. Let's see, maybe I should probably mark maybe something somewhere to center. There. That's kind of good. Trying to get eye level with this so I can see where I'm punching. Alright, so I've gone ahead and got those holes punched through, and I kind of want to keep it more to the top because if I want to add like a little charm or something, that it's going to hang nicely. Okay, so now we need to change our little punch piece to the bigger one. I have a hard time seeing here. Let's use this one. And we'll change this guy to the bigger one. There we go. So push this little eyelet through. And then pump him down. Let's see a little prayer for me. I'm just chomping down here. It's getting squished down. That looks good. So we have this cute little kind of tag notepad. Isn't it adorable? You can move it to the side. So this little guy is going to live right here in this belly band. That's why I had a sturdier card piece here so that I could just tuck that in like this. So it's great because you can remove it. You can turn the pages to the side to write on. It's so cute. Okay, so we have that. Go ahead and stick this in like so. Okay, so I am going to just kind of pause here and get the next step ready for us. Okay, I think we're ready for the next step. I did want to mention, I forgot to mention that when you're putting down your papers, your liner papers, you need to make sure that you're on the inside of those fold lines so that everything folds up nicely. So you don't want to overhang those fold lines, otherwise your folio isn't going to fold. It will impede on that and it won't fold nicely. So, okay, the next thing we want to do, as you can see here, we've got a little bit of bulk now, and that's where these little kind of gusset or spines come in handy to accommodate that. So the next thing I want to do is, there's this really great envelope in the kit that I fussy cut out and inked up. And what I actually want to do is I want to sew it into the spine. And I need to sew it in before I glue it so that it'll be in the spine. You can flip it, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out. I'm going to bring in this little mat here so I'm not digging into my glass mat. My cookie tool and my awl. And then I just want to try to get this somewhat centered. I think that's pretty good. And then I'm going to take my cookie tool, or awl, whatever you want to call it, and I'm just going to make holes just for simple pamphlet stitch. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's the best part about handmade stuff, is it's perfectly imperfect. That's why I didn't do my stitching perfect. I mean, if you like the perfect look, then go ahead and you know, do out your measurements and do straight lines or whatever you like. But I just think this is cute the way it is, just kind of, like I said, perfectly imperfect. Get our needle. And I don't want it's too big. And we're going to take our waxed thread or embroidery thread, twine, whatever you have. I'm going to measure 3 times the length of this little envelope, roughly, and a little bit just in case. And we'll trim that off. Grab our needle. And we're going to sew this right into our folio. Okay. Now you can have your tie, how you tie, you can have it on the outside if you want your knot on the outside, or your bow, or whatever you like. I'm actually going to hide mine inside the envelope. So people are going to be like, how did you do that? Well, it's not that hard. Now I just have this, sorry, is getting in the way. I just have this envelope printed out on some laser print paper. You may want to choose a heavier weight, like a mid-weight cardstock to print it on, just to give it a little bit more weight and structure to it. I think this will be fine though for this purpose. What am I doing? Do you know what I'm doing? Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing it wrong, you guys. Apparently I haven't sewn anything in a while. Okay, so we want to start with our middle. My goodness, you guys. Where did my needle go now? Okay, take 2. Okay, so we're going to go from the center. It's like I've never done this before. Okay, flip it over. Sorry, I know there's a lot of flipping back and forth, but it's just trying to get a good angle for me. I'm sure you guys have all sewn in pamphlet stitches before. It's the same thing as we normally do. It's just this time we're doing it with an envelope. Okay. Again, when you're sewing it in, make sure you pull this down so as not to split your threads, otherwise you can't get your sewing to tighten up nicely. Okay. There we go. And I chose a color very similar to what we're working with. You can use a brown, a white. This is kind of like a, you know, like a yellowy one, aged. Okay. And then this goes underneath here. This one will go this way. Let's see if we can even those up here. Just a second. So kind of just play around with it to get these strings somewhat centered in there. There we go. Now I'm not going to tie a bow for this because you're not going to see it, and I don't want too much bulk in here, so I'm going to just tie a knot. So you tie it one way and then tie it the other. There we go. And just have this cute little envelope sewn into the spine of our folio. So we can go ahead and grab our art glitter glue or whatever your glue is of choice. And we'll just seal this envelope up now, and you'll be like, how did that happen? There we go. And so what I wanted to put on the inside is almost like a mini journal. So I took these tags that were in the kit as well, and I trimmed them down slightly so that they'll be able to fit into this envelope. And I'm going to make a mini journal out of this. So let's tuck this to the side. I have these notebooks that I got from my local Goodwill, Blue Barrage, Value Village, whatever you want to call it. And I like these because they're kind of like primary papers, and they come out in the signatures themselves really nicely. So what I'm going to do is I want one of these to be the front and one of these to be the back, but I need to cut out the general shape from here, from these tags. Now, I don't think I'm going to use this many. That's a lot of papers. So let's just take some of them out here. Let's find the center. This might be good. Let's see how many we have here. 1, 2, 3. So I'll give us 6 pages. That should be fine. It's just meant to be like a little tiny journal. I don't want this piece. I want this down here. So I'm going to line this up to the folded edge of these papers and just trace. Trace the twig shape, and then I will cut it out. Super simple. Okay. And then I have these to use for something else. And now I want to put my covers on. I think I want this to be the back, and this to be the front. So what I need to do is create a hinge for this. And I'm just going to see what I have for washi tape, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but let's go ahead and turn these over. So I want this to be the front. So I'm going to open it up like this. And just going to quickly brush it with just a little bit of ink here. And then I'm actually going to, on the inside, I'm going to use the micropore tape. And then on the outside, I'm going to use this. This is fabric tape from Tim Holtz. So see how this works. So just using my grid here to line everything up evenly. Now I'm leaving a space in between, just to give it a little bit of a spine with that micropore tape. And have it here. And I'm just going to cut off what I need. Hopefully it's long enough. And then I'm just going to line this up kind of on my grid here, just so I lay it down nicely. Somewhat even between the two sides. And then I'm just going to gently lay it down. And you can see through the core tape, so if you need to move it and adjust it a bit, you can kind of tell where it is. Okay? So go ahead and just using a carrot and burnishing that down. And pull this up. And on the bottom here, I'm just going to trim it. I'm not going to fold it over. Just going to simply trim it. Pieces off my fingers. And I'll trim here. Tricky work. And then we'll go ahead and add this fun tape over top. This is like a fabric Tim Holtz tape. It's got some good strength to it. So again, this is thinner than the micropore tape. That's why I didn't want to wrap the micropore tape around, because it would show. Maybe let's put this on so that it's not upside down, although I guess it really doesn't matter, but I want it to look fairly reasonable, especially as this is going to be a prize for someone, right? Okay. So excited to be using this. I've had it for a while. So I want to keep nice and close. Oh my goodness, it's coming unwrapped on me. Alright. And then we'll trim it like this. Let's try and trim it straight. I'm probably going to keep this and stick it on some sort of project. I can't waste the stuff. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and we'll clean up this edge here for the tags. Okay. And then we've got our nice little cover for our folio, or for our little journal. Again, this is just lightweight laser paper. Again, do it on cardstock if you want it to have a little more stability or structure to it. And then I will tuck this in here, and I'm going to give this a good old pamphlet stitch sewing, and I'll be back once that is done. Okay, so I have the signatures sewn in. I didn't do a bow or anything. I don't want to keep it too bulky because this is going to go in that envelope. So this is ready to go. You can ink up the pages if you like. Yeah, so this is ready, and I just need to decorate the front of it now, and I'm just going to do some simple decorating. I have a piece of old dictionary page that I inked up the edges. I had to do it really carefully because this paper is so brittle. So I'm just going to use my art glitter glue. And we will put that on there. Then there's these pages of fussy cuts that you get. Again, beautiful, beautiful images in this Once Upon a Forest journal kit from My Porch Prints. I cut out this little butterfly. I also have this piece of cheesecloth I inked up a little bit. So I'm going to just add some glue there. This will be covered by the butterfly, so not a big deal. You can use Fabri-Tac as well if you like. And then I want to add a few pieces of, I have this kind of thread that my mom saved for me from her quilting. And I think I want to add a little bit of it under there just to give it a little bit more interest. So kind of wrapping it around my fingers. Kind of looping it, giving a little bit of twist. It's just trying to create some sort of interesting focal point. And I think for this I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. So we'll put a little blob there. Stick that down. And then we should have enough of that Fabri-Tac for it to hold our butterfly as well. And oh, this just drives me nuts. I put too big of a hole in my Fabri-Tac and it oozes out all over. So I just gotta grab a wipe here, quickly wipe that off before it drips all over. Okay. And I hate the feeling of Fabri-Tac on my fingers. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit of art glitter glue underneath as well. Okay, we'll just give that some time to set up.
I might just kind of trim some of these little bits that are hanging just a little too far off. Get a little bit of a haircut there. I think that is super cute. We can even add a word. Let me just grab my words. Okay, I have this little enjoy the journey. I think I'll put that on there. Just kind of inked up the edges. Use our art glitter glue for this. And we'll just put it right there. I think that'll be fine. Now you can add an eyelet in here as well and a little charm, give it some more interest. I'm just going to leave this as is because, like I said, it's going in that little envelope. So let's go ahead and bring our folio back. And then we can take this little piece and we can tuck it right inside of this envelope. Now this envelope, we want it to stay shut. So I have these little Velcro pieces. Let's go ahead and grab one of these. And we'll stick them down. All right, these two seem to be nice and stuck together, so let's use them. Okay, so I have the soft side and the tooth side stuck together right now. Just trying to get it even, and then we'll add a little bit of glue to both sides. So we'll start with this one. We'll add it there. Then we're going to add glue to the adhesive on the other backing. And then simply just close it up. And we'll give that some time to adhere, and then it can just pop open. So how cute is this looking? Let me just kind of do a quick little perusal. We still have pockets and stuff that we got to put on. But there's our front. Got our first flap. Now, if you want to make these tucks and stuff, just make sure that you are not sewing it shut if you want to do this as a side tuck. I should have thought of that before, but that's okay. Oh, so you can't see that. So here in your flaps, if you want these to be side tucks pieces, just make sure you're not sewing anything closed there, or wait to sew until after. But I think this looks super cute. I might decorate this up as well. So I am going to get the next pieces ready, and I will be right back. Okay guys, so now we're ready to put pockets and embellish this however you want. I'm just going to show you a few quick things that I'm going to do, and then I'm going to decorate it, finish decorating it off camera, and then I'll do a final flip through for you just because we are running short on time here for our video. So I have this pocket from the kit. Again, there's tons of pockets in this kit, tons of tags, journal cards, what have you, coin envelopes. So definitely take a look in this kit if you're looking for some embellishment pieces. So I want this pocket actually to go sideways, and I want it to tuck under here. I was debating whether or not to sew it. I think I'm just going to leave it as is, but you definitely can sew around this if you want. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, and I always like to hold on to the paper where I don't want the glue. So just adding a thin bead of glue along this pocket. And again, I'm going to have this pocket going sideways. Kind of tuck it underneath our little tag there, just so that we can actually still get in and out of there. And then I have this journal card that I just added one of the tabs to. There's great tabs in this kit. Quickly sew it around. I did back it onto some heavier cardstock just to give it some more weight. I think what I'm going to do on that is, it's so super pretty just the way it is. It doesn't need too much, but I do want to go over it with this clear Wink of Stella, just to add a little bit of shimmer to this butterfly. Again, it gives just a little bit of interest. You can add those little pearl drops, You can add buttons and, you know, add more stuff to this if you want to embellish it, but I just am going to keep it fairly simple because I don't want to add too much bulk to this. So I don't know if you can see, but that has definitely got some shine to it now, some sparkle. Kind of hard for me to catch it in the light, but in person it is shimmery and sparkly and looks pretty. Okay, so now I'm just going to tuck this tab, or this, this journal card right in this little pocket here. And then when we fold it up, it still manages to fit nicely in this fold. I'm not impeding on that fold. You definitely want to think about that if you have some tabs, for sure. I may actually add a little eyelet on here and a charm. I'm not too sure yet. But so I've got that. And then for this panel here, I want to add these stacked pockets. And I think I want that to go this way. Then this goes down, and then this, and then we've got a pocket here, a pocket here, and a pocket here. I'll add I think maybe this coin envelope actually on the side here, and I think I'll put a tag there. Maybe a side pocket here. Lots of different ways that you can embellish this. I'm going to add something here. I have a full image here, but you can also add pockets and tucks on the back here as well. So definitely lots that you can do. So I am going to save you from watching me ink and glue, and I'll come back and show you all the little cute tucks and spots that we created for this little folio. So I'll be back in a blink of an eye. Okay, you guys, it is finished and I'm so excited to do this flip through with you. Again, this was the folio challenge with Beth over at Yes, I Made It Myself, and we did have some criteria for this. So the base had to be made out of a paper or gift bag, a mailer, or a file folder. I chose the file folder. The cover needed to include either book page, music paper, or fabric. I have a little bit of cheesecloth fabric here, and then this flower has some music paper on it, so I kind of hit two of those things there. And then it needed at least one tag to include a paper clip, beads or charms, or eyelets. So let's take a look here at our little folio. I've got it tied with some sari silk. We're going to open up the first flap, and then here we have, sorry, I guess we'll say we open up the cover. Here's our flap. Our first flap has this cute little pocket, which I've embellished with some book page, dictionary page, some doily, and this cute little rabbit from the fussy cuts from this kit. Again, this kit is called Once Upon a Forest Journal Kit from My Porch Prints. I still have a ton of stuff left over, you guys, so I can definitely make another one of these. But in here I have a little tag, this cute little bullfrog, this prints here, just with some lace and a little staple holding that on, a place to journal on the back. And I've left the back pocket open here too, so you could stick something else underneath there as well if you wanted. Another little hiding spot there. So we'll stick this in the pocket portion. Then we flip open the first flap, and I took two of the little tiny tags and I actually made them into pockets, and I added the little tickets from the kit in there. So those are really fun. On our first base here, I've got this kind of slanted corner pocket. I used some more of the fussy cut elements just to decorate this pocket a little bit, and I put the little ladybug on there. It's so cute. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I did put some Wink Estella on the little ladybug, so she's all shimmery and cute. We have a tag in here, this cute little snail. This is like a little fold out kind of tag journaling spot, so you've got these fun little images. You could also cut those apart if you wanted. I just thought it was a cute little fold up. And then we have a journaling card here with one of the tabs. So lots of writing space on here. Tuck those back in. Then we have this fun little envelope that we've sewn into the spine. Now, what you can do is leave this envelope out, but still use this to sew this into the spine of a journal. So you can actually have this inside of a journal. So we have this cute little envelope that's from the kit. We just put some Velcro pieces on here, open that up, and inside we have this fun little mini kind of journal with some primary writing paper. We've sewn the signature in with a pamphlet stitch, and then we just used some of that Tim Holtz fabric washi to secure the spine, and we did some embellishing here. So we'll tuck that back in, and we'll flip this over. I put another pocket on the back of this envelope. I thought that would be fun. Another tag and some ephemera from the kit. Again, lots of journaling space on here. Tuck this in. And please remember that you can alter this any way that you want to suit your needs. You can have more pockets here. You can have another flip out. Just go nuts with it. So here is the other flap, and I did another little corner pocket. Again, I put a wink of Stella on this little flower just to give it some shimmer. Have a cute little bunny bum journaling card. How adorable is that? Again, you can put more tags back here. We're going to flip this open, and we have this little belly band that we put on, and it's just holding this cute little tag booklet with an eyelet. So there's our little tag with an eyelet, as well as this one here that has a charm. So this one you can open up and write in it, and then this just tucks back in here. So when this is done, you can put another little booklet in there if you like. You can replace that. So we'll just tuck that back in there. This fun little pocket underneath that has this journaling card with this butterfly. Again, it's got that wink of Stella on it, so it's glittery. It's hard to see in the camera, but in real life it's beautiful. It's got this fun little dragonfly charm on the end. Fun tab with the eyelet. Stick that back in there. Then we have these 3 stacked pockets. Again, these pockets were part of the kit, so really simple. We have this fun little jar journaling card. This one with a bird. And then this one here, it's got some lines on it. You can write on the back. I just put some lace on top just to embellish it a little bit more. You can always decorate these up too. I've just decided to leave them. I like the papers. In the second pocket here, we've got a fun journaling card with some of that ruffle. What do you call it? It's just kind of, I just sewed up some of this fabric into little ruffles, and then I just used that as a tag. I was going to put this on the front of the journal, but it just didn't look right, so I kind of kiboshed that idea, but I did use a little bit of it, as you can see here, for the tag topper. So much fun. So stick that back in there. Now the pockets are just a little bit tight because they haven't been, you know, used, so this fun little bullfrog journaling card, or journaling tag, we'll put that back in there. And then there's another one at the back here. So cute. And I think that about finishes it here. So we've kind of gone through the whole folio. So this was a lot of fun, and then we've got the back decorated. You can again put more pockets here on the back if you like. But this was such a fun challenge. Make sure you head on over to Beth's channel, Yes, I Made It Myself. Make sure that you're commenting on both of our videos for your chance to win these folios. You want to make sure that you're a public subscriber. Go ahead and hit up our Instagrams and other social media sites as well. We appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope this tutorial was interesting and helpful for you, and I love you guys. Thanks so much. P.S. I love you.